Okay, let's picture this. You've spent, I don't know, years learning English, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can read articles, you can write emails pretty confidently. Maybe your teacher sounds perfectly clear. You think, okay, I'm ready.
Mm-hmm.
But then you try watching a movie, or you jump on a work call with native speakers, or maybe you just overhear people talking in a cafe.
Yeah.
And it hits you.
Yeah.
Not clear words, but this chaotic rush of sound. It's like a river, words crashing together, syllables just disappearing. The rhythm feels totally off.
It's overwhelming.
Completely.
Yeah.
Try grabbing onto one word, but whoosh, the conversation is already 3 sentences down the road. And that feeling sinks in panic, frustration, maybe even a bit of defeat.
That's the wall of sound. We hear that phrase a lot.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's probably the biggest hurdle for so many learners, making real fluency feel, well, almost impossible sometimes.
But here's the thing, and this is what really stood out in the research we looked at. The problem isn't actually your ears. It's not your intelligence, not even really your vocabulary size.
Right, it's more fundamental.
It's that you've likely been trained, mostly, for a kind of English that you just don't hear much in the real world. That super clear, perfectly enunciated textbook English,
But Queen's English, or maybe CNN English vibe.
Exactly. But authentic spoken English is just different, a different beast altogether.
So our mission here in this deep dive is to try and give you a kind of Rosetta Stone for decoding that real fast speech.
Mm-hmm.
And this isn't just about a few quick tips. We want to take a proper look at the science behind why it's so hard and give you a framework, a strategy to actually retrain your brain for listening.
Yeah, breaking down that wall brick by brick, understanding the hidden rules.
So that hopefully that stream of sound starts to make sense. The
Yeah.
chaos turns into meaning. And you, listening right now, can gain the confidence to, well, not just survive, but actually thrive in that fast flow of English.
Okay, where do we start?
Right. Well, first big thing to get our heads around is that it's not simply about speed. Yes, native speakers talk fast, but that's not the whole story.
Not at all. If words were just said faster, but still perfectly clearly, like sped up audio, it wouldn't be nearly as challenging.
Sure.
What's really fascinating, and what the sources highlight, are these 4 specific things happening all at once that totally change how words sound. We've started calling them the Four Horsemen of fast speech.
Four Horsemen. I like it. Ominous, but accurate.
And really understanding these 4 is, well, it's the key to decoding it all.
Okay, let's bring on horseman number 1. What have we got?
The first one, and maybe the biggest hurdle, is connected speech. Think of it as the great word merger.
Okay. Like in writing, words have nice, neat spaces. But when we talk,
Those spaces vanish. Words just flow together seamlessly. And that blending is probably the #1 reason it's so hard to pick out individual words.
makes sense.
And the surprising thing is these merges aren't random. They follow patterns. There are 3 main types we see again and again. First up is linking, or catenation.
Linking.
Okay. This happens when a word ends in a consonant sound, and the very next word starts with a vowel sound. They just link up.
Oh, okay. Give me an example.
Sure, like an apple. You don't really hear an apple, you hear an apple.
Right, it becomes one sound.
Exactly. Or turn it off becomes turn it off. Or even a longer phrase like, I have to get up early. You might hear something like, I have dirty pearly.
Wow, okay. That's quite a transformation.
It really is. Then the second type is assimilation. This is where a sound at the end of a word actually changes to become more like the sound at the beginning of the next word.
Why does that happen?
Purely for ease of pronunciation. It makes the transition smoother, faster. Think about did you. Very often it sounds like did you.
Yeah, I hear that all the time. Did you eat yet?
Exactly. Or don't you becomes don'tcha. Another classic is I have to. That V sound in have often becomes an F sound, I have to, because the T in to is voiceless and F is easier to say right before it.
Huh. It's like our mouths are lazy finding the easiest path.
In a way, yes, it's efficiency. And the third type is elision. This is where a sound just disappears, vanishes completely.
Like a magic trick.
Sort of. It often happens with T or D sounds, especially when they're squished between 2 other consonants. So next door becomes next door.
The T just drops out.
Yep. Most common becomes most common. I must be can sound like I must be. I remember the first time I really noticed most common, I spent ages trying to figure out what most meant on its own.
Huh. Yeah, I can see that. And that really hits the nail on the head, doesn't it, the impact? If your brain is listening for, did you eat yet? separate words.
But what hits your ears is digidi.
Your brain just short circuits. It's searching its dictionary for a word that simply doesn't exist in that form.
Exactly. It's a processing error caused by a mismatch between the expected input separate words and the actual input merged sounds. Recognizing that pattern is the first huge step.
Okay, so words merge and change. That's Horseman 1. What's Horseman 2?
Horseman 2 takes us beyond individual sounds to the overall flow. Stress, rhythm, and intonation. Let's call it the music of English.
The music of English. Okay.
See, English is what linguists call a stress-timed language. This is fundamental. It means the rhythm isn't based on giving each syllable equal time, like maybe Spanish or Japanese, which are syllable-timed.
Right, not like a metronome, tick, tick, tick for every syllable.
Whoa! Instead, the rhythm comes from the regular timing between the stressed syllables. It's more like Morse code. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Some beats are long and strong, others are quick and weak.
So some words get the spotlight and others are just background.
Precisely. The key distinction is between content words and function words. Content words, your nouns, main verbs, adjectives, adverbs, carry the core meaning. They are the ones that get stressed.
Meaning they're said louder, longer, maybe higher pitch.
Exactly. Those are your islands of meaning. Then you have the function words, prepositions, articles, auxiliary verbs, pronouns. These are usually unstressed.
The grammatical glue words.
Right. And they get shortened, quieted, often reduced to that neutral, the schwa. They're like the water flowing quickly between the islands.
Okay, sticking an example sentence. How about, I want to go to the store to buy some bread.
Perfect. In that sentence, the main stress falls on want, go, store, buy bread.
Right. Those are the islands. I to thee, to some. That's all water.
Exactly. And here's the crucial implication for listening. If you try to give equal attention to every single word, you'll get completely lost in the water.
You'll miss the important bits.
You will. The effective strategy is to train your ear to actively listen for those stressed content words, those islands. That's where the core message lies. You can often understand the gist, even if the unstressed function words are a blur.
So focus on the peaks, not the valleys.
A perfect analogy.
And that compression, that squashing of the unstressed words, leads us right into Horseman 3, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. Horseman 3 is reductions and weak forms, or, as we nicknamed it, the incredible shrinking words.
Because they get crushed.
They really do. It's a direct result of that stress-timed rhythm. To keep the beat between the stressed syllables, native speakers just naturally compress those little unstressed function words into tiny, sometimes barely recognizable forms.
And this is where things get really tricky for learners, I think.
Oh, absolutely. These reductions are everywhere. Think going to becoming gonna.
Classic.
Want to becomes wanna. Got to becomes gotta.
Have to becomes have to.
Yep. Should have, could have, would have become shoulda, coulda, woulda. Even tiny words like for often sound like for becomes that schwa again, and n can just be n. You often reduces to.
It's like a whole hidden vocabulary layer you have to learn.
It really is. And the impact is huge. If your brain has been trained on the full, clear going to, when it hears gonna, it doesn't match.
It's like searching your computer for a file named report final version 2 when the actual file is called report FNLV2 draft.
Exactly. The information is there, but the label is wrong, so your brain can't retrieve it quickly, causing a processing jam.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So merged words, stressed rhythm, shrunk words. What's the final horseman?
The fourth horseman is a bit different. It's about the stuff around the core grammar and pronunciation. Fillers, phrasal verbs, and idiomatic language. We call this the cultural code.
The less predictable stuff.
Kind of, because real natural speech isn't like a perfectly clean script. It's messy, it's informal, it's full of conversational noise and cultural shortcuts that aren't always in the textbooks.
Like fillers.
Exactly. Sounds and words like, people use them to pause while thinking or to hold their turn in the conversation. They're not just noise. They actually signal things about the speaker's thought process.
Right, they're part of the flow. Then phrasal verbs.
Oh, massively important. Native speakers tend to prefer phrasal verb, verb plus preposition or adverb, like run into someone instead of encounter, or figure out a problem instead of solve it.
And fast speech is just full of them.
Absolutely littered with them. And they can be tricky because their meaning isn't always obvious from the parts. And finally, idioms.
Things like bite the bullet or the ball is in your court.
Precisely. Expressions where the meaning is completely figurative and can't be guessed from the individual words.
So how do these trip listeners up?
Well, unfamiliarity creates roadblocks. Fillers might make you pause, thinking you missed something important when you didn't. Phrasal verbs can be confusing if you only know the literal meaning of the verb. And idioms, they can just stop you completely if you've never heard them before.
Right. An idiom can make a whole sentence nonsensical if you don't know it.
Exactly. So if you pull it all together, that wall of sound isn't really a solid wall. It's more like a complex tapestry woven from these four threads: the connected speech, the stress and rhythm, the reductions, and all this cultural code stuff.
And the key insight is you don't need faster ears to understand it.
No, you need a different strategy, a new way of listening that anticipates and recognizes these features.
Okay, that's a really helpful breakdown of why it's difficult. But before we get into the strategies, there's something else we need to talk about, isn't there? Something more psychological.
Yes, this is huge. It's the mindset. Specifically, the paralyzing fear of not understanding every single word.
Ah, the perfectionist's trap.
That's it. So many learners believe that successful listening means 100% comprehension. Like it's a dictation test you have to ace.
And the moment you miss one word,
Bam, anxiety spikes. You start mentally rewinding, trying to figure out that one word. And while you're doing that,
you've missed the next 3 sentences.
exactly, it's a cascade of failure, all triggered by that initial need for perfection.
So what's the alternative? How do we escape the trap?
You have to fundamentally shift your goal. You need to transform from that anxious perfectionist into what we like to call a confident gist getter.
The gist getter, I like that. So what's the gist getter's philosophy?
The primary goal is simply to understand the main idea, the gist. What's the core message? Who's talking? What's their general point or mood? If you get that, communication is largely successful, even if some details are fuzzy.
Okay, focus on the big picture, not every pixel.
Exactly. And crucially, acceptance. You have to accept that it's normal to miss words or phrases sometimes. Honestly, even native speakers miss things or need clarification.
That's a good point. We don't catch everything either.
We don't. We just instinctively use context to fill the gaps without panicking. And learners can develop that skill too. This acceptance allows for forward momentum.
Meaning, don't get stuck on the missed word.
Let it go. Consciously decide to refocus on what's being said now. Trust that maybe future context will clarify it, or maybe it wasn't that important anyway.
And use that context actively.
Yeah.
The situation, the tone of voice, your background knowledge. Use it all to make intelligent guesses.
Yes. Context is your best friend. And finally, reframe listening not as a test, but as practice. Every time you listen, you're building the skill. There's no pass or fail, just progress. Incremental improvement.
Okay, but how does just thinking differently actually help you understand more? Is it just about feeling less stressed?
It's more than just feeling better, though that helps. It's a cognitive strategy.
Yeah.
When you reduce that anxiety, you keep your prefrontal cortex, your logical processing brain, online. Panic shuts that down.
Ah, so you stay in thinking mode, not flight or fight mode.
Precisely. Staying calm allows your brain to actually process the information it is receiving much more effectively.
Is there a practical technique for this?
Right.
A way to make it concrete?
Yes. One really effective technique is what we call the 80% rule.
The 80% rule.
Make a conscious deal with yourself. Aim for 80% understanding. That means getting the gist, the main points, the speaker's attitude. That's your target.
And the other 20%?
The other 20%, the minor details, the odd, unfamiliar word, that bit that was mumbled, it's okay to let it go. Just accept it. Setting this realistic target takes immense pressure off.
Yeah, I can see how that would be liberating. It's achievable.
It really is. And it allows you to listen much more effectively because you're not constantly striving for an impossible 100%.
Okay, mindset sorted. We're aiming for gist, accepting imperfection. Now let's build that practical toolkit. What are the active strategies we can use?
Right. Moving from just passively hearing to actively listening and decoding.
Strategy number 1.
Become a predictor. This is all about top-down listening.
Top-down, meaning?
Meaning you use your existing knowledge before you even start listening. Passive listeners just wait for the sound to arrive. Active listeners prime their brain. They activate background knowledge and make educated guesses about what they're likely to hear.
How does that work in practice?
Think about it. Before you watch a movie clip, maybe read the title or a quick summary. If it's about a hospital scene, your brain starts preloading words like doctor, patient, symptoms, test results.
Right, you activate the relevant vocabulary.
Exactly. Before a meeting on Q3 sales results, you anticipate hearing words like revenue, targets, growth, challenges. Even going into a coffee shop, you know the basic script, right? What can I get for you? for here or to go.
So you're preparing your brain, giving it a head start.
Precisely. Spending just, say, 30 seconds predicting dramatically boosts comprehension because your brain isn't starting cold. It's already warmed up and knows what kind of information to expect.
Okay, predict first. Strategy 2,
Listen for the signposts. We call this targeted listening.
signposts, like the important markers.
Exactly. Remember the stress-timed rhythm and the content words. The key here is don't try to catch every single word. Focus your energy on the big fish, those stressed content words, nouns, verbs, adjectives, adverbs that carry the most meaning.
So tune into the islands and worry less about the water.
Perfectly put. Train your ear for that musical stress pattern. There's a great exercise. Listen to a short clip and only write down the words that sound loudest and clearest. You'll almost always end up writing down the stressed content words.
So, back to our example. I think we should postpone the meeting until next week. If you catch, think, postpone, meeting, next week.
You've got the core message, maybe 90% of it. You're listening for the skeleton of the meaning, not every single cell.
Got it. Predict, then target the stress. What's strategy 3?
Embrace the pause. This is about chunking and processing.
Chunking, like breaking it down.
Exactly. Here's the thing. Even fast speech isn't one continuous, unbroken blur. Native speakers naturally deliver speech in chunks or thought groups. And between these chunks, there are tiny micro-pauses.
Ah, okay. So it's not constant.
No. Think about how you talk. When I got home last night, I was really tired, so I just ordered a pizza and watched a movie. I like those natural breaks.
Yeah, they're definitely there when you listen for them.
Your job as a listener is to learn to recognize those chunks. And crucially, use those little pauses to quickly process the meaning of the chunk you just heard before the next one starts.
So listen, process, listen, process.
Exactly. It breaks down an overwhelming stream into manageable bits.
Okay, chunks and pauses. Strategy 4.
Use your other senses. We call this multimodal listening.
Multimodal?
Mm-hmm.
Using more than just ears.
Absolutely. Especially in live conversations or watching video, you have so much extra information available. And using it isn't cheating, it's how communication naturally works.
Like body language.
Yes. Watch the speaker. Are they smiling, frowning, shrugging?
Yeah.
Gestures, facial expressions, they add so much context. Look at the environment, too. And in movies or TV, the visuals are key. Sometimes what you see tells you exactly what you didn't quite hear.
Like, if someone points at a broken cup while talking, you can guess they're talking about the broken cup, even if you miss a word.
Exactly. Combining sight and sound dramatically boosts comprehension.
Makes sense.
Hmm.
Okay, final strategy, number 5.
This is the ultimate just-getter skill. Master intelligent guessing and tolerate ambiguity.
Ooh, sounds advanced.
It's about what you do when you do miss a word. It's the ability to just mentally put a question mark there, hold that uncertainty for a second, and use all the surrounding context, the words you did understand, the situation, the visuals, to make an educated guess about the missing piece. And crucially, doing it without stopping the listening flow.
Okay, give me an example.
You hear someone say, I had to go to the pool this morning to get my tooth looked at. It was really hurting.
Okay, missed word.
Right. The perfectionist panics. The just-getter notes the gap, quickly scans the clues, tooth, hurting, looked at, makes a quick logical guess.
Dentist.
Probably dentist, right? And then immediately moves on with the rest of the story.
Yeah.
You don't need 100% certainty on that word to understand the main point.
So it's about trusting yourself to fill in the blanks using context and not letting one gap derail everything.
Exactly. Tolerating that initial ambiguity is a game changer. It's the difference between constantly getting stuck and actually following the conversation.
Wow, okay. That's a powerful set of tools. Predict, target stress, use pauses, use visuals, guess intelligently. But how do we practice this? How do we build that listening muscle?
Great question. Like any muscle, it gets stronger with consistent progressive training. We recommend a 4-level approach. And for the first 3 levels, the core method is something we call the listening loop protocol.
The listening loop protocol. Sounds official.
It's just a systematic way to practice. It has 4 steps. Step 1, listen blind. Just play the audio, maybe a short podcast clip or news segment once, with no subtitles, no transcript. Just focus on getting the gist. That's your baseline.
Okay, first pass, just listen.
Step 2, listen with a safety net. Play it again, but this time, read along with English subtitles or a transcript if you have one. This is the aha moment.
Where you connect the sounds to the words. Ah, that's what gonna looks like written down.
Exactly. You see, did you was did you. You connect the sound to the form. Step 3, and this is vital, analyze the language. Pause the audio. Really look at the transcript. Actively hunt for the Four Horsemen. Where did words link? Where were the reductions? Which words were stressed?
So you're actively noticing the patterns.
You're internalizing the rules by seeing them in action. Then finally, step 4. Listen. Again. Put the transcript away. Listen one last time.
And it should sound clearer now.
Almost always, yes. Your brain has been primed and trained to recognize those patterns you just analyzed. It's a really effective cycle.
Okay, the listening loop. Now, what about the 4 levels of training?
Right. Level 1, we call the nursery slopes, like learning to ski.
Gentle start.
Exactly. The goal here is just to get comfortable with basic connected speech and rhythm in a slow, controlled environment. Materials could be podcasts for learners, like BBC 6-Minute English, or even simple kids' TV shows like Peppa Pig or Avatar.
Things with clear speech and strong visual context.
Perfect. Use the listening loop. Focus on spotting simple links and common reductions like gonna or wanna.
Okay, nursery slopes.
Then level 2.
Level 2. The green runs. You're moving on to slightly steeper terrain. The goal now is to apply your skills to authentic, native-level content, but stuff that's still pretty clear and well-structured.
What kind of materials?
TED Talks are great, speakers are usually clear, audiobooks are fantastic, especially if you've read the book before in your own language.
Ah, that gives you huge context.
Massive advantage.
Yeah.
Also, scripted TV shows, comedies like Friends or The Office, maybe dramas like Stranger Things.
Yeah.
The language is natural, but it's scripted, so it's generally cleaner than spontaneous chat.
And still use the listening loop.
Definitely. But now, really focus on that analyze step. Get highlighters out, mark up the transcript, really dig into where the 4 horsemen are appearing.
Okay, green run's done. Level 3 must be.
Level 3, the black diamonds. Now we're tackling the steep, challenging stuff. The goal is to handle the real messiness, the interruptions, the slang, the ums and ahs of unscripted, spontaneous conversation. This sounds like the real deal. What materials work here?
Conversational podcasts with multiple hosts just chatting are perfect. Think the Joe Rogan Experience or similar interview discussion shows. Reality TV is surprisingly good too, like The Great British Bake Off or Queer Eye.
Because it's real people talking naturally.
Exactly. Or even YouTube vloggers talking about hobbies you share. Now, you might not always have a transcript here, so the focus shifts slightly.
Oh, so.
Focus heavily on getting the gist. Use a technique called pause and paraphrase after listening for a minute or two. Pause and quickly summarize out loud what you understood.
Checking your comprehension actively.
Yes, and if it's a group conversation, try just focusing your attention on one speaker at a time to simplify the input stream. Don't try to follow everyone at once initially.
Okay, black diamonds. That leaves level 4.
Level 4, the real world. This is it. Applying everything in a live, interactive conversation where there's no pause, no rewind.
The ultimate test. And the material here is
Real human beings. Language exchange partners, colleagues, friends, cashiers, anyone you talk to. This is where you need the live conversation toolkit.
right, because you can't just hit pause when you're talking to someone. So, what's in this toolkit for real-time chats?
Okay, first and foremost, build your clarification repertoire. Get over the fear of looking stupid. Asking good clarification questions makes you look engaged, not dumb.
What kind of phrases should we have ready?
Have a few simple ones memorized. For general repetition, sorry, I didn't quite catch that. Or a bit more informal. Could you run that by me one more time?
Okay. What if it's just one word?
You can pinpoint it. Sorry, I missed that last word. You said it was, or what was that word after meeting?
Good. And what about clarifying a whole idea?
This is probably the most powerful technique.
Yeah.
Rephrase what you think they said. It shows you're listening and allows them to easily confirm or correct you.
Like?
Okay, so if I'm understanding correctly, you're suggesting we should delay the launch, is that right? Or let me just check at this. The main issue is X, not Y.
That's really useful. It confirms understanding without just saying what.
Exactly. It keeps the conversation moving constructively. Second tool, the buy yourself time maneuver.
For when you understood the words, but need a second to think.
Precisely. Your brain needs a moment to process the meaning. Use natural little fillers. That's a good question. Or, let me think about that for a second. Even, wow, that's an interesting point.
Polite ways to create a brief pause for your brain.
Exactly. Gives you that crucial processing beat. And third tool, the honesty card.
Just being upfront.
Sometimes, especially in friendly, lower stakes chats, it's the best way. Don't be afraid to say something like, I have to admit, you're speaking a little quickly for me right now. Would you mind slowing down just a touch? my listening is still improving.
And most people will be okay with that.
Absolutely. Most people are happy to adjust if they know you're making an effort. It's often much better than just nodding along when you're totally lost.
Yeah, that fake nodding is stressful.
Yeah.
Okay, clarify, buy time, be honest. That's a solid toolkit.
It gives you options in the moment.
So bringing this all together, this deep dive, it really shows that getting good at understanding fast native speech, it's a challenge, definitely, but it's achievable.
Absolutely. And it requires a shift, doesn't it? Letting go of those old habits, the perfectionism, and really embracing how messy and, well, beautiful real spoken language is.
Yeah. And I guess the ultimate takeaway from everything we've looked at, it's not really about needing better ears.
No, it's about having a better strategy, a smarter approach.
Yeah.
And hopefully everyone listening now feels like they possess that strategy.
You understand now, right, that the wall of sound isn't mystical. It's made of predictable things.
No.
The Four Horsemen: connected speech, rhythm, reductions, idioms.
And you've hopefully adopted that just-getter mindset, freedom from needing 100% comprehension.
Plus, you're armed with those active listening tools: predicting, finding signposts, chunking, using your senses, guessing intelligently.
And you've got a training plan, those 4 levels, to build the muscle systematically, from Peppa Pig up to unscripted chaos.
And finally, that toolkit for handling live conversations when there's no safety net.
You're equipped.
Definitely.
Oh.
But it's important to remember, it's a marathon, not a sprint, right?
Absolutely. There will still be days you feel lost. Conversations that feel like a whirlwind, that's totally normal, even for advanced learners sometimes.
But the difference now is you know why it's happening, and you have tools to manage it. Every time you lean in, try to catch a stressed word, let a missed word go, and refocus, you're building those pathways.
You're strengthening the muscle, reinforcing the strategy.
So the final thought is really, go out and listen. Listen differently. Listen with curiosity about these patterns. Listen with strategy, and listen with a bit more courage. Because that stream of fast English, it doesn't have to be a threat anymore.
It's an invitation.
Dive in.